with Tom Walter, Wake Forest Baseball. And Tom, first of all, the big question people are asking, because I'm hearing a lot about your team coming back for this year, what's it going to take to get back to the College World Series again?
Well, we've got a good team. It's going to take us having a good pitching staff like we had last year. You know, we had really great starting pitching last year, and we feel like we can again this year with Josh Hartle and Chase Burns and Michael Massey. So we need good years out of those guys. And then, you know, we got to stay healthy. I mean, that's a big part of it too. We certainly have the talent to get back to Omaha, and we're looking forward to getting after it.
And I guess one thing about it, you've been highly received, highly proclaimed with some of the preseason polls, but the polls don't get you there. You got to get it done on the field. And I like what you got with local talent too. Like I think Reagan guys, Mount Tabor guys, West Forsyth guys, bringing those guys in for Forsyth County area teams. And those guys have been big contributors to your game. And some of those guys have gone to the schools, actually come back to play for you later too.
No doubt. We've got Tommy Hawk, had a great year for us last year. Now we've got his brother Austin. We've got Josh Hartle from Reagan High School, who's our #1 pitcher. And we've got some recruits coming in from the Greensboro area too. So we're certainly trying to do a good job in the state of North Carolina. A lot of baseball talent here.
What about another question for you? Why would a guy want to transfer out of a program that just went to the College World Series? Why would he want to enter the portal and leave Wake Forest, go to another school, when he's already been to the College World Series and a good chance to get back again? You can't actually answer that question completely because you don't know what the guy's thinking overall, but your philosophy on that, what do you think about that? It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
I think sometimes it's just not the right fit. I think in the case where we lost a couple guys, I think, you know, one of them, you know, felt like he didn't have an opportunity to play in the field. He thought he was going to be a DH only for us, and he wanted to go somewhere where he could be in the field defensively and get a fresh start, and I totally understand that. And I think one of the other guys that left wanted to get closer to home. So, you know, I didn't begrudge anybody that left our program. It's kind of part of the doing business these days. We certainly brought a lot of great guys in from great programs, and, you know, we feel good about our team.
You're happy with what you got and going to do with what you got. Also, this question for you. How's the young man doing who you donated to Oregon to a couple years back? How's he doing these days? And talk about his lifestyle, how he's doing. What is he doing these days?
Well, thanks for asking. Kevin couldn't be doing any better. He got married this past summer, and I was the officiant of the wedding, which is a really cool moment for me and for him. And he's teaching at Philo Middle School. He's an 8th grade social studies teacher, and he's coaching at Reynolds High School. So he's a high school baseball coach and a middle school teacher, and he's loving life. And we have a nonprofit together that we work on too called Get in the Game, and we're doing some work here at Page High School as well as some other local area schools, Mount Tabor and some others.
That's pretty good because he's staying local to and giving back. That's a great thing.
Sure is.
Talk about this, if you will. Let's go back. I'm going to tell people how you got here on my recollection. I'm going back to American University with the baseball coach there. Going to leave there and come here, but you're coming here with Northern Virginia Baseball, Bill Collins, John Horshak, John Fry, John Tudor, and John Parisi. You're downtown on Lindsay at downtown Greensboro at the old Greensboro Bats /Hornets Stadium. You're working under the stadium office with a bunch of tables spread out in the room, not even any cubicles, just a bunch of desks. And here you are selling. I know you got that assistant GM title, but you're more of a glorified salesman. Got to hit the street. You did that for like 1 year. How did you end up getting here with that? I know a lot had to do with John Horshak and Bill Collins bringing you here, but that's kind of a crazy move.
Yeah, for sure. I was an assistant coach at GW when Bill Collins hired me to go to work for the Bats. And it was one of the best things I did because that sales experience and getting to see the inner workings of a professional baseball team, how marketing and branding work, you know, advertising, all the different functions of professional baseball that you don't really see when you're a college coach. So great experience for me. And then the head coaching job opened up at George Washington University, and Bill Collins and John Horshak helped me get that, got me in the door, got me an interview, and I ended up getting that head coaching job at GW when I was 27 years old, and spent 8 years there, then 5 years at the University of New Orleans, and then thankfully, as fate would have it, I ended up here at Wake Forest after that.
So the bang, bang, bang theory of moving around, you didn't go straight from the Greensboro baseball team to Wake Forest. You had a few more stops to get your feet a little more founded after that too then.
For sure, but always stayed in touch with John Horshak and John Fry and John Parisi and John Tudors and Bill Collins for sure. Those guys are still part of my inner circle, and they're all doing really well for themselves and have become great friends.
What was the day-to-day operation like when you were doing that work for the Greensboro baseball team? What was the daily grind like doing that?
Well, some days it was hanging billboards, right before the season. Some days it was making sure the Goodyear tire toss went well. Some days it was calling for, an advertiser for sales or selling season tickets to an elderly couple. Sometimes if the popcorn lady didn't show up, you had to serve popcorn or work up in the grandstand serving beer. So it was all hands on deck. Sometimes you pulled tarp. It's just whatever.
But you pulled tarp quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, pulled tarp quite a bit. And certainly did that in my days at GW and New Orleans as well. We've got a turf field at Wake, so no more tarp pulling for me, but certainly had my fair share of that at those other stops.
I guess that old Ernie Shore field over in Winston-Salem is in pretty good shape these days.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. Our crowds at the end of the year last year were spectacular. We sold over 1,600 season tickets for this year. Individual ticket sales just went on the market. It's been really incredible to see how the community of Winston-Salem has shown up for this team and our program.
You're showing up down here at this Sherwood Tennis Center for this Page Baseball fundraiser. Talk about these kind of events you do here for these local high school baseball teams where kids are coming up through the ranks trying to become college players maybe eventually, and you're working with these people too to help do good things for Page High School here.
Well, Page High School is really special to my heart. We do some work with our nonprofit here. Their principal, Eric Nagley, is a good friend of mine and somebody I think the world of. They just hired Justin Smith, who's a really good baseball guy, who's got a great track record of moving his players on to college and professional baseball. So Page Athletics is in really good hands with Eric and Justin, and I'm just really honored to be here.
Tom Walter with us. Tom Walter's been around the horn quite a few times. He'll keep going. Back to the College Baseball World Series this year. Just as we close, what was the experience like last? It had to be kind of surreal sometimes. You're in some close games and fighting with teams and going all night long. Some games going huge extra innings. What was that experience like overall for you and your team?
It was magical, man. The Wake fans really showed up. I felt like we had the loudest fans there. The LSU fans might have outnumbered us, but ours were more passionate. And I was just really proud of how Winston-Salem showed up and the Wake Forest alums showed up for this team. Where every time we got on the bus or got off the bus, there were hundreds of people there to greet us and cheer us on. And, you spend your whole life trying to get to Omaha, and you don't know, and you feel like anytime you build something like that in your mind, it's going to disappoint you, but it didn't. It exceeded expectations, which, doesn't always happen.
When was the last time Wake was there before you went last year? Remind us about that again.
1955 was the last time Wake went. They won the national championship that year, and that was the last time we had been to Omaha. We were really close in 2017, kind of one hit away. And got there this year and hopefully this past year in 23, and hopefully we'll be there again in 24.
I tell you what, Gene Hooks, George Greer, a lot of great men over the years, and you've followed them and kept things moving in the right direction. Thank you for your time, Tom Walter, and thank you for your service. You've done a great job. What you've done, all the different things you've done, not just on the baseball field, but in the community too. The work you do. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate you having me on today.